Hey queens, welcome back to my channel. Today we are getting into how to customize your wig so you're not out here looking crazy. If that's something you're interested in, then keep watching. The hair that we're working with today is from Wiggins hair. I paid for this with my own coins, and we are working with an HD lace and an 18-inch 250 density wig. Today I'm using the Quick Blue Bleach and 40 volume developer. I'm starting off with 1.5 scoop, and then I'm just going to eyeball the developer because I don't want to overdo it. Since I didn't add enough developer, I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit more because we want it to have a more buttery, or some people say toothpaste consistency. Now I'm going to use my hairspray just to kind of brush the baby hairs or any type of flyaways back from the lace so they don't get bleached along with the frontal. One thing I did love about this frontal is that it was pre-plucked and the knots were really small. Now we're just going to position the frontal and the wig in a way that we can apply the bleach. I like to start at the back of the frontal because those are the knots that are typically harder to bleach. And you want to make sure that you don't over bleach the front because the front is what everyone's going to see. As you apply the bleach, I want you to make sure that you're not pressing the bleach into the frontal because you will over bleach your knots that way. So just make sure you're using a light hand and just let it glide up the frontal. After you apply all the bleach, you will notice that the frontal kind of caves in. Don't worry, it's not going to ruin anything. Just try to keep it up as much as possible. I typically leave my bleach on for about 30 to 45 minutes, and this is kind of how it foams up. Now it's time to wash the bleach out of the frontal. I typically lay the lace forward facing so that way I can just wash all the bleach off and it doesn't get on the hair. Please make sure you wash your bleach out thoroughly because it will crust over in the hair, I promise. Next, we're gonna go in with the Shimmering Light shampoo. This is what's really going to tone those brassy knots after you bleach your frontal. Go ahead and apply it onto the lace. You don't need to apply it on the hair, and just kind of rub it in, and we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. And now we're just going to thoroughly wash all of that out. And once you're finished, your knots should look similar to this. Sometimes there's a few knots that didn't get bleached. It's okay to re-bleach. If you need to, just make sure you don't re-bleach the knots that are already bleached. So I typically use box dye. This is the Revlon in shade black. I use both the cream developer and I don't know what the other thing is. I just pour them in as the directions state and I shake it up and I add it into a mixing bowl. So this is the crystal clear. I like to add this into the dye because it's going to help with adding that shine to the hair. Once you have everything mixed, go ahead and use your brush to start with the roots. You want to make sure that you're carefully brushing the dye onto your hair because if it gets on the lace, it's going to tint the lace into the dye color. So be careful, especially whenever you're parting the hair. Make sure that you're not using too much product. You're using just enough to cover the roots where you need it to be covered. Now, when it comes to everything else, I typically just use my hands and run through it. I feel like if I use the brush, it takes way too long. So I feel like I can spread the product more with just my hands. Next, we're just going to wash the dye out. We want to make sure that we wash as much dye out as possible. The water should run clear or semi-clear whenever you're finished, and then go ahead and follow up with the conditioner. Now we're going to go in with the Heat Protectant Spray by Chi. I typically let my units air dry outside overnight because I don't like to have to blow dry. It's just not my thing. Then we're gonna go ahead and section the hair, and we are going to curl and just style the hair. I don't really have a specific curling technique. I just continuously wrap the hair as I go, and then I roll it up. If you would like a tutorial on how I curl my hair, just drop a comment down below, but once we get to the end of this, you'll see why I probably don't need to do one. Next, we're gonna go in with our Fonka Beauty Lace Tint Spray. This is important because you wanna match your lace to your skin tone, so make sure you have a lace tint spray. Make sure you shake up your lace tint spray because it will come out a reddish brown color, and then spray it a decent way away from your lace front and then blow dry it. Now, in order to avoid over plucking, I typically pluck while the unit is on my head and glued down because sometimes I really over pluck and mess it up. So what I do is I take the hot comb, I brush the hairs back so that way I can see what I'm working with, and then I just pluck until I feel like my hairline is the way I need it to be. Make sure you do not continuously pluck in the same spot. Kind of just move your hand around and continue pulling the hairs back. So I had already taken out all of the clips that were in my head, and I realized that the hair wasn't as voluminous as I wanted it to be. So here I am just layering my hair because I don't know what's going on. The curls fell and it just wasn't looking right. So typically whenever you layer your hair, it feels like you're cutting your hair off, but don't worry, it's just creating volume. So don't be afraid to add layers. So then after trimming, I went ahead and recurled my hair, as you can see here, and I'm just taking it out, and I'm realizing that the curls still aren't staying the way I want them to. They keep falling. I had to recurl. I decided to add some hairspray, maybe that will work, and recurl, and it didn't give. I'm not sure what's going on, but this hair really had a hard time holding a curl and just being that voluminous, luxurious wig that I thought I bought. And at a certain point, I just gave up because I didn't want to add too much product to my hair. And here I do look a little frustrated about it, and I'm still trying to fix it. However, it just had to be what it was because we were already running late. Can y'all see? Okay, so a few things about this hair. So one, I do love the lace. I think the lace is absolutely perfect, and I can wear a half up, half down, and it looks pretty seamless. I do love the hair. I think the hair is really great. My only issue with the hair is it doesn't really hold a curl. So the reason why these curls are kind of brushed out is because I've tried to curl it multiple times and it's just not taking. I've used a lot of products as well, so my hair is kind of greasy now. But I mean, I feel like it looks good. I just wish that there was a way to allow it to hold a curl. And even though this is a 250 density, I'll put the correction up here if it's not. Even though this is a higher density, I feel like it's hard to obtain volume with this wig as well. Would I buy again? Yes, but I would buy a bob wig from them. I wouldn't buy a long, thick wig anymore because I just feel like the fact that it's not holding a curl, I don't really care for having a long, having long hair with that. But other than that, I think it went well. I think they have really great hair, and I will purchase again. I just wouldn't go this long because I don't feel like it's worth it price-wise to go long and not be able to hold a curl and just not have that volume. I feel like it keeps falling flat. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.